Hi, I'm Gerald Kostica, and today we're going to be discussing the competition. When you hear the word competition, what comes to mind? When I hear that word, I envision two closely matched competitors, whether it's two athletes or athletic teams you might see on television on Sunday, or vocalists you may see on a singing competition show, or two evenly matched products trying to earn my business as a consumer. The thing that all of these examples have in common for me, and I think for most people, is that in order to really be considered competition, the two sides need to be able to compete. I think you can agree that watching a pee-wee football team face off against a professional football team would not be the most enjoyable game to watch. In fact, the extreme differences in abilities wouldn't make the game fun at all. It would make it a waste of time. Unfortunately, in the ionizer industry, there are a lot of pee-wee teams out there trying real hard to convince consumers that they can play in the pros. But folks, it's just not true. The truth is that there are a lot of lower quality ionizers being promoted as just as good or even better than the industry recognized gold standard machines produced by Enagic. This amazing technology is starting to spread throughout the United States, but it's still early and consumers are still learning about ionization and ionized alkaline water. Unfortunately, it is during this time when consumers are just becoming familiar with the product that the most people will be duped into purchasing a lower quality product based on nothing more than a lack of complete understanding of the technology and some false or misleading information. The vast majority of other ionizer companies are virtual, internet-based resellers that I often refer to as spin masters. These are people that can turn babble into benefit, flaws into features, garbage into gold. Their expertise is convincing consumers that an inferior product is superior by spinning the truth, providing misleading or false information, or by redirecting a person's focus. You see, while these people may be devious, they are not dumb. In fact, they are very cunning and calculating in their approach, and they have a systematic way that they do things. This is what they do for a living. You have to understand that there is a lot of psychology and emotional manipulation employed by these people. They've worked very hard to develop a way to manipulate information and utilize emotional response in order to sway people to purchase their products. If a reasonable person took a no-nonsense, common-sense look at these other sellers from the perspective of a consumer, there would be no way that someone would purchase their products, and they know it. This is why they engage in spinning their product features, redirecting emphasis on price instead of benefit, and attacking method of market introduction instead of product quality and performance. They know that this is what they have to do in order to effectively sell their machines. The majority of these other ionizer sellers even try to compare their ionizers to the Enagic ionizers. It is common knowledge that product comparisons are used in marketing and advertising in an attempt to elevate an inferior product to the level of a superior product. Almost all consumers know that the product doing the comparing is the inferior product, and the product being compared to is superior. Why else would they even compare? Most of the other ionizers compare themselves to Enagic ionizers, which is the gold standard in the industry, and compare themselves to no one else. Many of them also engage in what is referred to as predatory marketing, meaning that they create marketing and advertising campaigns that prey on prospects created by someone else's efforts, most of the time from the efforts of an Enagic distributor. You see, because most of these other ionizer sellers have little at risk, they are not willing to put much into actually trying to procure their own customers. They rely on trickery, deception, high-pressure sales techniques, and manipulation of emotional response to get consumers to purchase their products. Most people don't truly understand just how much time and money it takes a company to turn a consumer into one of their customers. In marketing, this is referred to as cost of customer acquisition, meaning how much money a company actually has to spend on average in order to earn the business of each consumer. Most of these other ionizer companies are not willing or even able to invest the substantial amounts of money necessary to develop and secure their own customer base. Instead, they use every underhanded technique they can come up with in order to get one of our prospects to stumble across their product information. They are not taking the time and money needed to develop a sales force that can educate consumers in this new market about this unfamiliar technology. They do not embark on major campaigns to prove to consumers that the product they have to offer is really the best one available or even worthy of a consumer's consideration. All they do is wait until an unsuspecting prospect gets tangled in their web of internet-based misinformation and deceit, and then they strike. These types of tactics are really the only way they can compete with the quality of our products, which is why they never go head-to-head with us. They may post biased reviews, comparisons, and even manipulated laboratory results. But the reality is that if the top 5 brands on the market were to go head-to-head against the SD501 under identical testing conditions and testing protocols, the SD501 would emerge as the absolute undisputed champion. It is the difference in quality that leads us to another major difference in our marketplace introduction of our products, which is our ability to bring this technology to the commercial market. You see, the competition may be able to dupe the average, uninformed consumer, but it is much more difficult to pull the wool over the eyes of a business customer. The scrutiny made by a commercial customer is much greater, as the purchase can affect more than just them. It may also affect their customers and livelihood. It is for this reason that most of the other ionizer companies don't even bother trying to approach commercial accounts. They know that their products do not comply with necessary certifications and simply cannot stand up to the rigorous requirements of commercial use. On the other hand, the Enagic products are more than able to stand up to the intense scrutiny and expectations of commercial applications. They have the certifications and the level of quality necessary to perform in a commercial location. You see, I've had a lot of experience dealing with other ionizer brands. And while some refer to them as competition, the reality is that the only competing that is being done is them competing with us. If you have lost any sales to low quality, cheap priced machines, it is typically for one of the following reasons. First, the value of the product has not exceeded the price in the mind of the prospect. One of the reasons we provide samples is so prospects can see if they experience any benefit, which will, if they do, increase their perception of the value of the product. With enough benefit of value, also known as worth, that then exceeds the cost and the price of the product, and it becomes justifiable. Second, they don't know that Enagic offers different models of ionizers. If they insist on shopping price, the Level Up R is by far the best quality product of its kind for that price. What people have to realize is that the other ionizer sellers are not going to admit that their best machines can't even match out our lowest price machine. So they compare theirs to the SD501 or even the K8. Otherwise, they would have to concede and admit that what Enagic has is superior. Their $2,000 product is not the same as our $4,000 product. If your prospects want the best value for their money, they should only be looking at Enagic products, and they should purchase the product that best suits their budget and needs. The reality is that being the best model of Hyundai doesn't somehow make it a Mercedes. It doesn't work that way. Third, the prospect doesn't understand that if you're looking for a discount ionizer, they're basically saying that they don't really value their health. The old adage, you get what you pay for, applies to ionizers just like it does every other consumer product. There is a difference between a Timex and a Rolex. And there is a difference between a food-grade, low-quality water ionizer made in Korea and a medical-grade, high-quality water ionizer made in Japan. If the difference in price between the best and the rest is just $1,000 to $2,000, isn't your health and the health of your loved ones worth just that little extra bit of money? There are plenty of things in this world that you can shop for discounts. Your health should not be one of them. Unfortunately, many people have been convinced that going with a discounted product won't hurt them. But consider the 99-cent menus filled with complete junk with no nutritional value, or the 79-cent super big gulps that are so bad for you that they should have a Surgeon General's warning on the cup. Think these are helping people, or are they killing them? Are they really getting a value, or are they paying the correct price for the low-quality item they are buying? People need to break free from this self-destructive cycle of accepting declining health in the name of discounts. And you may need to help them realize that this is exactly what they're doing. Empower your prospects with knowledge and approach them with compassion and have the desire to help, and you will have done your job, even if they never buy anything from you. If they decide to do something else, you can sleep well at night, knowing that you gave them all the information you could to help them make the best educated choice possible. Some people will just make the wrong choice. Unfortunately, that's just people. All you can do is move forward and stay focused on Enagic's mission of spreading true health and representing the gold standard in the water ionizer industry. Just remember this: when you're the best, you really don't have any competition. This brings us to the end of our episode. I hope you enjoyed our topic and that you found the information useful. Be sure to check out our video library for other helpful hints as you discover the incredible ways that changing your water can change your life. Until next time, be informed, be prepared, and be inspired.